Hello everyone, Jewel here. This time, I want to share my best CRPG games of all time that I think should be played in 2022. I know I've done this video a long time ago, but I decided to make an update and improvement for the list. Alright then, let's get started.
Save the last one for me.
Your wish is my command.
For developer Event Horizon, Tower of Time is an astounding entry that gives fans of the CRPG genre something different to sink their teeth into. The game might seem to be a little formulaic to veterans of CRPGs, but it is not without innovations of its own. It takes a compelling narrative and blends it with fun role-playing and deep satisfying tactical combat. Tower of Time isn't a massively groundbreaking game, but it is a solid addition to the RPG genre. The Age of Decadence is a CRPG that rewards patience and attention to detail. It may have some rough spots, but it is surprisingly well-designed RPGs. Meaningful choices, authentic combat system, unique role-playing experience, and feel for many distinctive playthroughs. The game combines great writing and storytelling with branching storylines that are more complex than your average CRPG. Neverwinter Nights is one of those rare games that has a lot to offer virtually everyone. The campaign alone is easily worth the price of admission. Not only is it on par with all the best CRPGs to date, but it's also a lot more friendly to new players. The quests are well designed, entertaining, and there are tons of different battles between them. Overall, this is a game that every CRPG enthusiast should be playing. Shadowrun Hong Kong is a futuristic CRPG with a cyberpunk setting filled with fantasy-based characters like elves, dwarves, orcs, and trolls. The Shadowrun universe is based on the tabletop RPG series of the same name and carries over the same themes into the games. Despite running on the same engine, Hong Kong took everything great about its predecessor and polished it. All in all, Shadowrun Hong Kong is one of the best games in the CRPG renaissance. The Adam series is a love letter to classic RPGs such as the early Fallout, Baldur's Gate, and Wasteland games. Trudograd is technically a standalone sequel or expansion of the previous entry. It is not necessary to play through the first game, but as the two plots are closely intertwined, I would still recommend to play through the first game. Released for the PC by Obsidian Entertainment in 2016, Tyranny was built on the same engine that powered Pillars of Eternity. Just like Pillars, Tyranny is a high fantasy RPG that places the same emphasis on story, characters, and moral choices as its predecessor. It's also the rare sprawling RPG that invites you to replay it, as its comparatively short running time and significant changes based on choice greatly change the experience from playthrough to playthrough, and the combat is deep enough to last. If you are tired of same old fantasy setting in RPGs, you will absolutely fall in love with Tyranny. Baldur's Gate 3 is a revival of the classic party-based RPG series set in the Forgotten Realms. It's being modernized by Larian Studios, previously responsible for the excellent Divinity Original Sin 2. Surprisingly, the game also became turn-based, unlike the original games. The game is still on early access, but so far it looks very promising. Solasta Crown of the Magister is an excellent game for anyone who loves turn-based RPGs or D&D in general. Since there are so many options for difficulty and game rules, pretty much anyone can play it, regardless if you want something easy to experience the story, something extremely challenging, or something in between. Admittedly, the graphics are very rudimentary and basic, but the gameplay is what matters the most. Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is a bold, dark, epic saga featuring an astonishing replayability value. The developers have experimented with Kingmaker and have gone all in with Wrath of the Righteous, creating one of the best story-driven CRPGs of late. For those who miss the feeling of a long tabletop campaign or have been craving a new isometric RPG, Pathfinder: Wrath of the Righteous is the game for you. Few games are this ambitious, and even fewer can mold these ambitions into such a complete and entertaining experience. You might spend 50 or more hours on your first playthrough, but there are so many paths to follow, so many details to uncover, and so many ways to customize your party that you will want to play again as soon as you finish the first time. Incredible storytelling, great characters, and exciting battles are just a few of the things that make this fantasy RPG so extraordinary. Overall, Dragon Age Origins is a fantastic CRPG and is a must-play for any fan of the genre. Torment: Tides of Numenera is considered to be a spiritual successor to the critically acclaimed Planescape Torment. The game is based on the tabletop RPG Numenera created by Monty Cook, taking inspiration from the Planescape universe which he had a hand in designing. Of course, given the high standards set by its predecessor, it was only a given that some people consider Torment: Tides of Numenera to miss the mark in terms of its story. However, it's still a great game that fans of story-heavy CRPGs should definitely check out. Pillars of Eternity 2: Deadfire takes place 5 years after first game's events and features some returning characters and themes. The second game in the series once again excels in its writing, musical score, and voice acting. It's mature, believable, and expertly told. Instead of the stronghold building in its predecessor, players are now tasked with upgrading their ship, sailing, and battling at sea. In addition, Deadfire now includes the option to use turn-based combat as well as the real-time pause system, offering players even more choice.
In a cave anyway, collecting his thoughts.
The Wasteland series ends up feeling like a successor to the original glory of Fallout in the best way possible. Wasteland 3 is especially notable in this regard, establishing itself as one of the best CRPGs in modern times. The gameplay is refined to a T, the plot keeps players at the edge of their seats, and the combat will ensure that gamers can waste a single action against foes in a savage post-apocalyptic world. As CRPGs go, there is no better one to begin with than Disco Elysium. It's a game that equally approachable for CRPG veterans and newbies alike. The game's plot deals with political strife and moral issues at a level that has never been seen before in gaming. And the Final Cut update to Disco Elysium elevates this masterpiece of a game to the status of perfection.
I couldn't say, in truth, so...
Larian Studios took everything they got right with its predecessor and created one of the most polished and open experiences in RPGs. More than ever before, the world reacts and develops around the decisions and actions from the player. Additionally, the story is a step up from the sometimes overly whimsical nature of its predecessor. There's little doubt that Divinity Original Sin 2 will be considered as one of the greatest RPGs ever created. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are probably other good CRPG games that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best CRPG games that probably deserve the spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss another grad list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace.